Alison and I are going to talk about films on demand. I teach primarily human services, sociology kinds of classes, and I'm also a big fan of movies. And I really think that movies add so much to the lecture when we're talking with our students. And one of the great things about films on demand is you can use little snippets or whole movies. Most of the time, we don't have time for a whole hour's worth of a film, but oftentimes we can show clips of 3 or 4 or 5 minutes within our PowerPoints to be able to talk about or illustrate the ideas that we're talking about. So, okay, we went right along. All right. So today we're going to talk about how to use films on demand. We're going to talk about how to make the links with films on demand. And embed them into PowerPoints or embed them into Blackboard. Because if you really wanted to, for example, show the full-length film, we certainly can do that, but it might be an opportunity for students to view that off campus or at their own homes, right, be able to do that. And then we're going to talk about the links. This has been a challenge, to say the least, about bad links. Films on demand allow our students to focus. They allow our students to focus on a ad-free visual area. Isn't that what you'd like to say?
Yeah, and I just want to add a note here because I look at lots of different sources for video for classrooms, and we all know there are excellent things on YouTube, PBS, other places. But one of the things to consider is those websites are designed to be sticky. In other words, they're designed to keep the students, keep viewers on the website as long as possible, either to sell eyeballs to advertisers or even as great as PBS is, to market their material. So if you go on those websites and you look in those designs, they're very distracting. I don't know about you, but if you've ever had nights when you're on YouTube, you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to the last 3 hours? It's a very effective environment that way. And as you saw when we just showed that clip, when you're at Films on Demand, you have a video, and then you have text around it. And worst comes to worst, a student wants to click and explore links. The only links they're going to explore are links related to that topic from that film. They're going to stay on point. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. That's okay. Let's see. Oh, one of the best parts about Films on Demand is that it's a text-based product, meaning that if you wanted to search something, that what you would do is you would be able to put that the word into the search engine and be able to come up with numerous options for you to be able to look up. So if you wanted to look up child labor, you would just type in child labor, and there would be a whole list of offerings of films that were either taking place here in the United States or child labor, in Sri Lanka or child labor in India, and then you could focus down from there. One of the other really terrific parts is if you have students that are visually impaired, we have a few students in the Human Services program that can't see, they can use the text-based information to be able to read what's going on in the films. So there's a whole running text that's next to the film that has all of the words of what's going on in the movies, so that the students would really be able to know exactly what was going on because they couldn't see it.
And about 90% of the whole collection, 100% of the new titles are closed captioned.
Yeah,
or captioned.
Which is just terrific. So again, it's high quality material. It's really important. Again, as Alison was mentioning, it's not made up sort of like some of the things you look at on YouTube that can be really, sort of dicey. This is quality material, and it's constantly being updated and refreshed. And we'll talk about some of the challenges about that constant updating, because sometimes when the films are updated, they're not there anymore. Right? They've decided they're going to take them out of the collection. So it's the good news and the bad news. But it's really quality material. And, it's everything from dental, hygiene to, the kinds of things that you could use in working with nurses' aides and training them. Yep.
Has that happened to you?
Many times.
With films no longer there?
Many times. Yeah. They come and they go. Yeah.
No notification?
No.
Well,
Well, I suppose they notify somebody.
yeah, but we don't always know what links people have. So if there's a way that you let us know what the links are, there are 2 times a year when they load over the films and we can check before fall semester, the beginning of fall semester, and the beginning of spring semester. Actually, at fall semester, we were working together, and
Yes.
she gave me her PowerPoints for her lectures. And each PowerPoint had 3 to 8 different links. And I just clicked on the links. Where there was a dead link, I just replaced it with a different film. And also, because I got to see what her lectures were, I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's a good link here. And I actually added links. So she got a few more films out of it. So
But then you have to like the films that she chose, right? Because
They were perfectly excellent.
I'm sure.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So again, one of the things, no, you just go ahead. So one of the things that about Films on Demand is that you can look for things ahead of time. So it does save time. Well, I will tell you it does save time in one way. In another way, I suppose like people who get lost on YouTube, which I don't think that's ever happened to me, but I understand it does happen, is that I can get lost on Films on Demand thinking about all of the different things. Like I wish I had time to watch all of those films on Demand that I want to see. Because there's so many fascinating, and I mean fascinating, clips that you could just embed in your PowerPoints or just, be able to watch for yourself. I mean, I'm a lifelong learner. I, love watching those kinds of things. And they really add so much, I think, to the information that we can provide for our students. So, well, yep, you're up now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my slide is kind
I'm going here.
So this slide kind of wraps in a lot of what Colleen's talking about. That as a teacher, it enables you to discover, I really mean it, more, better, faster. So the idea is you're looking for high quality content. So Films on Demand isn't going to have any junk in it. So you're not going to have to spend time filtering results from a source like YouTube. The other thing is it doesn't have lots of auxiliary material. Now, the PBS educational website is awesome. There's a lot of auxiliary material there. And when you search, you get not only a film, but it's also mixed in with trailers and promotions and all sorts of other stuff. Here, when you search for a film, what you're getting is you get back segments, mostly of a few minutes each, that are designed to slip right into the stream of your lesson plan and complement it. And then the other thing that makes it so different, and this is more the librarian perspective, is what they're doing under the hood. And that's one of the things I want to talk about. It's kind of maybe boring, but it's so important because the problem with the web is it makes everything look the same, right? You can put an encyclopedia on the web, and you could put someone's fanzine on the web detailing the characters and, Game of Thrones. It's out there. It all kind of looks the same, but they're very, very different things. Similarly, you can get video from Films on Demand, but what they've done is they have a team of professionals who watch each video. They break each video down into coherent chunks of content, specifically designed for educational use. Not only do they make it pre-selected so you can just cherry pick the content you want, they also title it and describe each segment within the film. So when you're searching, and Colleen was alluding to that, you're not just getting back a film title and a general description of the whole film. Imagine a film on the Lewis and Clark expedition, and how much you know about that. But if you broke that film down into all of the different components the documentary filmmaker put in about the Lewis and Clark expedition, then your discoverability explodes in terms of what you can use as a teacher. And just to give you an idea of what the scope is like, sorry, this is touchy. So we do have choices in all subjects, and right now we have almost 20,000 titles, okay? Those 20,000 titles are divided into segments. So when you search, you're not just getting one out of 20,000, that you're going to use. You get over 220,000, more than tenfold, because they've broken it apart and made it possible for you to discover the good content inside each film. A few other things to know about the material in here to give you an idea of the scope of it. I went back and looked at the most popular films viewed in the last year, since last March. The top film, actually, this is one Colleen is linked to. 120 views have been made of this. It's about the history of an abuse of migrant laborers from Mexico in the U.S. And it's Colleen was telling me a little bit about it this morning. It's fascinating when you know about this. I didn't know about this. All of a sudden, all of our current policy issues with immigration start coming into sharp focus when you realize this historical background. You can see the following two are health sciences topics. There is STEM stuff there. There's mathematics in there. And science, there's a lot. Accepting life's transitions, human development.
Another one of mine.
A lot of the things are hot topics. A lot of students view that. So we have the death row. But last year, fracking was a popular title, and another one was solar energy. And then there's some humanities, Egypt's Golden Empire. That's history and art. So it really does cover all subjects. And actually, it has a browse capability. So you can go in and pick a general subject like sociology or history and see all the films available under that topic. And just to go back to the text options, which are really important. So 90%, like I said, of the current collection has transcript and captions, full transcript. And 100% of new titles have transcript and caption. And we talked a little bit earlier about the way they keep the collection curated. It is a curated collection. I mean, that's the reality. Here at the library, we're constantly weeding. You kind of have to. So the big loads happen right before fall semester and right before spring semester. So January, we had 443 new titles. I don't know how many got deleted from the system. We had over 100 new titles last month, and I know in the last week we had 3 new titles loaded. So it varies over time. Every week they're loading new titles. It's always a good idea, though, I got to tell you, with any resource that's out there on the web, and I'm sure you guys know this, although we all run short of time, is like you do want to check and make sure the links work, because videos are pulled from YouTube. They're pulled from Vimeo, PBS, monkeys around all the time with the videos they make available on their website. So that's just the way it works. Okay. So I'm gathering everyone here is really familiar with the idea of URL addresses, because this is how we actually connect the students to the streaming video. So, and the reason I have this slide here is because this is what underlays where films on demand can get problematic for instructional use, and this is one of the reasons why we're having this workshop, to help make it as easy as possible and facilitate it. So Films on Demand, fantastic resource, easy to search. But one of the things is, if you have a student viewing one place, when they use a web address, like, writing on a letter or something, that request to view the video has to bounce around between different servers before it finally gets to the server, the computer, where Films on Demand stores the video. And just like sending a letter in the mail, there's all sorts of things that can happen between the person sitting at the computer trying to view the video and actually delivering the video. One of the number one problems we had in the past, and this problem has been resolved, is finding the correct, unique URL or web address for the video. And I'm going to show you where you can find that address. That's really the key. And this slide is also to show you that there is something called a proxy prefix. Are you guys familiar with the concept of the proxy prefix and why we use them? Okay. This is important because when there's a problem with Films on Demand, usually it has something to do with what's happening with the proxy prefix. So, Films on Demand is a subscription database. We pay for it. One of the reasons it is so great to use and why we want to make it available as a choice is that PBS isn't going to make certain videos available to you. These are high-value documentaries, and they have limited target-focused use that is, again, high value for certain people. So they're hard to get, and you're not going to find most of them free on the web. So we have a subscription. When you go to view the video, they have to have some way to know that you're authorized to use a subscription. So all of this link says, it just says, are you a Tunxis subscriber? And you can see TXCC, ComNet. That's really what it's asking. Are you a Tunxis subscriber? And it has to say, okay, you're a Tunxis subscriber. We're going to let you through.
I mean, probably basically, is that the where you go go to get the films?
No, I'm just telling you that that's a component of the address that it's just helpful to know. Okay. Now, this is your, so where do you get the actual unique URL? There's one place to get it. It's our Tunxis institutional account with Films on Demand, and we made it really easy for you guys to get there. And this is important too. When you're on campus, whenever you go into Films on Demand from the library website, you're automatically on our institutional account. So the URL will be below each film or segment. So go to the library website under DVD Media tab. And I have a handout too that will show this. And then you'll be able to select Films on Demand. And the display you see once you find a film is going to look something like this. This is a math film, obviously. And there's the film playing. And here is the URL. And this is what you want. It's always displayed right below the film.
And so you copy and paste that?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. Now, off campus and most Wi-Fi, although on-campus Wi-Fi is working well for me, the URL is displaying correctly with on-campus Wi-Fi. But off-campus, or if you're at Starbucks or something Wi-Fi, you have to work a little harder to get to the Tunxis institutional account. You can't just log in, do what I just showed you when you're off campus, because remember that proxy prefix and the bouncing servers? Yeah, one of our authentication servers gets in the way and it starts like messing with the address. So you need to go direct to our institutional account, and this is how you do it. The first way is you can go to digital.films.com and you get the login for our institutional account. But there's an easier way. If you just go to the library website, you don't even have to remember the URL address for digital.films.com. You click on the link here that says Create Link to Films on Demand, and it automatically takes you there. So the only difference is when you're on campus, you click on this. When you're off campus, you click on this. That's really what you need to know.
The URL is the same either way.
Yeah, you're going to get the same URL. Now the difference is, remember, you have to show that you're allowed to get in, right? So when you're off campus and you click that link, what's going to happen is they're going to ask you for a special user ID and password. And it will take you to, whichever way you do it, it will take you to this login. So when you're at home, go on the library website, click link to, access Films on Demand, then type and boom, you're golden.
Well, she's in.
You're in. You get where you need to be. Okay. And again, just like on campus, again, you're right in your institutional account. You're in the same place. You've ended up in the same place. You're going to find your URL right below the film. To copy it, so you guys are cool with copy and paste, you can select all, right-click, or Control-C. Okay. So copy and to paste the URL. How many of you guys already put web links into Blackboard? Okay. How many of you use Blackboard? Okay. So when you're in Blackboard, what you can do is once you've grabbed the URL, you can create a web link. So it'll be a box, basically, that shows up, and they can hit a link and view it. Teachers use this different ways. They might put it in with a whole lesson, or they might put it in with the course as recommended viewing as part of the course. There's all different ways of doing it. You would choose to build content and then select web link. When you select web link, you'll see a blank box to put the URL. And you just do your paste thing, like you guys always do. You just paste the URL in there. One important thing to know is that Blackboard should have a default that says Open in New Window. Check that and make sure it says it. If it doesn't say it, check Open in New Window. We found through lots of experience and testing that when a Films on Demand opens in a new window, Blackboard is much happier. Because Blackboard is its own secure environment. And it's kind of what is here, but you saw what's happening with that, graphic of the networks linking all over the globe. So when you go to link to Films on Demand, you're trying to jump out of the Blackboard environment, out of my comment system, and you're linking to servers way somewhere totally out of it. So opening in a window will facilitate that process. And I'm sure you guys are very familiar with PowerPoint. To insert a hyperlink in PowerPoint, it's a very popular thing for a lot of our instructors. However, this is one of the biggest things, films on demand and PowerPoint don't live together very happily. And the reason is, you know that proxy prefix I showed you? Yeah. What happens with that little string of letters that we need to prove that you're a Tunxis subscriber is that PowerPoint tries to help you. It tries to help you by getting in there and mucking around with the proxy, because it recognizes there's a security thing going on and it's trying to help. And very often PowerPoint will screw up the proxy, which means the address isn't going to work. So the solution we found that makes a big difference is if you're going to use films on demand as part of a presentation, find or create it in PowerPoint, but please make a copy as a PDF. It's easy to do when you go to Save As. You have a drop-down box, and I don't know if you can see up above there, it says PowerPoint presentation. Down below, you'll see an option for PDF. Select PDF and save it as a PDF. So your links are going to work. It's going to work as long as the proxy prefix is correct. The slides are shown in PDF rather than PowerPoint. The video is still available. You're not being blocked by browser security settings. In other words, you're able to get out and hop around between those servers on that network. And we do suggest as a best practice to always use backup. Note the title of the segment or film you're using and say it's from Films on Demand at Tunxis Library, or let the students know. So if there's any trouble and they're trying to view it, they can just go, oh, library website, go to Films on Demand, and open it up. But this is one of Colleen's slides, and I love the graphic here. And what she's done is, look, she has the segment title and the film title, and her students know it's from Films on Demand. So if this doesn't open, and this is one students do like to watch, then they can, worst case scenario, go find it. Several years of working with this. These are our preferred ways when you go to use it and a link fails.
Everybody sees that? It's a broken link.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Try a different browser.
Right.
The link's not working, and that solves it, I don't know, 70% of the time? 75% of the time? Something, and you know what's weird? Browsers that work at school, here on campus, I'll have the reverse thing at home. So the same thing will work great on Mozilla Firefox here, stuck in IE. I get home, it works fine in IE, not in Mozilla. Go figure. A lot of students are fans of Chrome. I know that Chrome has its issues, but that can be a pretty one. Okay, you just go to Films on Demand. We talked about that. From the library website, open a video, then try links. So actually, let's go back to this one. So let's see what happens. We know that we were in Films on Demand. We successfully opened the link. Let's see if it works this time. Aha, don't you know? Okay, so what happened there is when you successfully open Films on Demand, when you go and successfully do it, it puts a cookie on your computer that provides the authentication, and that cookie overrides whatever junk is happening. So that's another workaround. Let's see if we can get back which one. This one? Okay.
I think so.
Check your proxy prefix. That's kind of why I took the time to show it. If you're not seeing something that looks like this, then you know you have a problem. You don't have the right link. Give me a call. Go back in, see if you can pull a different link. Your internet security settings. We found out that there were some problems with internet security settings. They weren't, some of the internet security settings on computers here weren't allowing my ComNet for some reason, and you know, weird stuff like that. So make sure it's allowed. Digitalfilms.com has to be allowed, right? Use your Blackboard browser check. Sometimes that can help too. Okay. A worst case, yeah, go to Films on Demand and find the video. And that's why, just to emphasize, please always display the title and let them know it's from Films on Demand at Tunxis Library. Then in the worst case scenario, you can go directly and pull the film. Help and assist, we are here. This is the phone number of the main reference desk. You can call, email, my email's up there, or just drop by. Some of us are more comfortable with Films on Demand than others, but we all know how to get the link. We can get links for you. I will be happy. I'm here Tuesday through Thursday. I'll be happy to come to your classroom if I'm on campus and watch what's happening, because of Colleen's willingness to work with us, we have learned so much about how this resource works. And then we can help suggest clips, get links for you. If you're interested in this and you just don't have time, let me know. Ideally, let me know in the spring. I'm not on campus July and August, but let me know, and I'd be happy to supply links. I mean, it's great material. I want your students to get it. We'd be happy to meet with you or your department if you think it's useful to your colleagues. We can actually create custom clips, and we can create special kinds of links for different things. If you want to know more than that, I can talk about that with you individually. We can help troubleshoot bad links if you work with us and give us information. So I guess we have a few minutes for questions, and I'd be happy to sit with you, and if you want to try and pull links and create a Blackboard web link, or do the PowerPoint thing and try and create a PDF and whatever you guys need. So let me know.